The next lecture of the Linux administration. For the further introduction part, we will discuss about the about device management, device drivers, device classes, file management, data structures, and file name conventions. This the first is device management. So, as you know, that operating system manages manages all the resources like device, process, memory, and file management. So, in the device management, so as you know, this device independent. Linux is device independent. That means it improves portability. Means we can move from one location to another location. This is easily. Device drivers supervise data transmission. For the data transmission, we need the drivers between main memory and peripheral units. So for communication or transmission from one location, one end to another end, we need data transmission between different peripheral units. Device assigns. So whenever we will assign the devices, so at the time we need to the name and descriptors also. So further identity each device is stored in device drivers. Support for standard classes introduced by Unix. Allow new device classes supporting new technology. Device class is not rigid, that means so flexibility is there. So easily they can use that particular drivers. Creating large, complex, multiple function drivers is discouraged because users share code. Wider demand for simple drivers. As you know, every time we have to need the simple drivers, so that can easily handle by the application softwares or system softwares. Modular code supports system scalability and extendability goals. Encouraged drivers maximizing systems effective device usage. So when you know such things are easily available and easily manageable and easily executable, that means drivers is doing well. Device notable feature, that means accept new device drivers on the fly. System up and running, no reboot is necessary. Whenever you install a new driver, so no reboot is necessary for execution for the next. Open and release functions performed when opening a device. Verify that device is available and is working order. So you have before you have to install a new device driver, you should verify that this device is working in the proper manner, working in a proper order. Increase usage counter for the device by 1. Alert the subsystem that the module cannot be loaded until its file is appropriately closed. So initialize the device, old data is removed and the device is ready to accept new data. So as you know, the different applications you install the drivers. So this old data is removed and the new data is ready to accept for the application. So identify the minor number and update the appropriate pointer if necessary. Allocate any appropriate data structure. This open and release functions. So device close or device release. These two functions will work when you use the device drivers performed when releasing a device. Okay. When you want to release any device, so at that time device close and device release functions will be activated. Deallocated any resources allocated with the open function. Shut down the device, reduce usage counter by 1, so the device can be released to another module. So all the information will be gathered in a table that how many devices are in use, and if the device is added, that means counter will be incremented by 1, and if the device is returned or this is being closed, that means counter will be decreased by 1, so that we can allocate that particular device to the another module or another application. Okay. Next, 3 standard classes are there in the device: character device, block device, and network devices. So these are 3 standard classes. You can view The figure, this system call interface, device control subsystem, file systems subsystem, network subsystem. All the peripheral devices and all the things are connected by this type of classes. So device control subsystems control the character devices, file system subsystem control the block devices, and networking subsystem device control the network devices. So these are the example. You can view character devices for the serial port console from where the input is coming. And block devices, so this is hard drive and CD drive are the block devices. Whatever data is coming from these devices, it will control by these device classes, block devices. And from the LAN cable and wireless communication, data will be managed by the network devices. Character devices accessed by stream of bytes, as you know, when we will give the input from the in console or any communication port, monitor or byte stream fed, so it will be accessed at a stream of bytes. Implement open, release, read and write system calls. So these are system calls which will directly communicate to the hardware that someone is writing on the console and input is coming from the monitor. So this is implement open. These are the system calls which communicate by the kernel to the this particular hardware. So accessed by file system nodes. Look like ordinary data area. Drivers treated as ordinary files. Block devices as a host of file system. As you know, the block devices from the hard disk, CD drive or pen drive. This is for the managed by the device block devices. By file system nodes in slash div directory. Transfer in blocks of data because bulk of data is coming. So this is blocks of data transfer. Similarity to character divider appear as ordinary files. So it will look like the ordinary files. Dissimilarity to character driver. What is the dissimilarity? This is access file system is connection with device driver possible with character devices. So this is the dissimilarity. Access file system in connection with device. Network interface. So functions. This is a function. They send and receive information packets. As you know, from the network, whatever data is coming, that is in the form of packets or frames. So directed by the network subsystem. So these particular packets by the directed by the network subsystem. And network device functions relate to packet transmission. What is the sequence with the packet? So it will synchronize all the packets. So system device handled by the device driver. So this system device जो handled by the device driver under Linux subsystem. Very similar to Unix file management. You know, file management, it is very similar to Unix. Easy transition for programmers and administrators who are familiar with one operating system to move to other. So it is very familiar to Unix, just with an understand. Data structures, file organized in directories, connected in tree-like structure. As you know, this overall file structure is like the hierarchical structure, like tree structures. All the directories and files connected to the root. So traversing is easy in the tree structure, hierarchical structures. So next is the file name conventions. What type of the naming convention should be there? So case sensitive, as you know, Linux and Unix is a case sensitive language. So whatever you will write, it will exactly similar match with the following variable name, either file variable name or the file name, directory name. So this is case sensitive. Recognizes uppercase and lowercase letters up to 255 characters long. So contain alphabetic characters, underscores and numbers, file suffix, optionals, can include spaces, complications if running command line programs, file hierarchy. So these are the different type of criteria for defining the naming conventions. File hierarchy slash indicates an absolute path. File name conventions. This is root, and these are two different directories. This and some files are there for this, and one again this is the directory, and again some file are linked from this directory, and these three video files or one music files is contained by this directory memo. So a sample file hierarchy, the forward slash at the top represents directory. So this is the root directory. So this is the tree structure. So many directories will be attached to the root. Okay. So this structure will be followed by the Linux. Yes, path name rules. Path name starting with slash begins at root directory. Path name, one name or list name of separated by slashes, as you know. Last name on the list, name of the file. जो भी आपका लास्ट आपका होता है दैट विल बी द फाइल नेम होगा. इससे पहले जितनी भी आपकी डायरेक्टरीज होंगे दैट विल बी सेपरेटेड बाय द as you know, as you have seen already in the Unix and DOS operating system on the command prompt. Okay, so two periods in the path. What do you mean by this two periods? Sign, that means move upward in the hierarchy. If you want to go upward in the hierarchy of the any tree structure, so you have to use this two this period signs, so closer to root. Whenever you want to in this location, you can use for double dot for the root. So only way to go up to the hierarchy. Okay? Not for the downwards, it goes for the upwards. Virtual file system, this VFS, kernel and virtual file system layer. This is, as you know, allows processes to access files in consistent manner. Okay, allows processes to access files in a consistent manner. This is the uh, work of this kernel. Maintains interface between file related system calls and file management code. So it maintains or it work as the interface between related system calls, whatever system calls are coming from the files, and file management code. Okay, so this is the kernel. And virtual file system layer, so receives process related system calls to files. Okay, प्रोसेस इनिशिएट सिस्टम कॉल्स टू फाइल्स, जो भी आपके प्रोसेस रिलेटेड सिस्टम कॉल्स होंगे उनको फाइल्स को रिसीव कराना. रिसीव, so performs file operations independent of the file system. So independently file operations will be performed. Redirects request to module managing the, okay, so redirect request to module managing the files. Okay, so these are the references as we have already seen in the previous slides. uh, Simple beginners guide, and there one is Red Hat Linux System Administration, and last is the Linux is the node. So these are the reference books. For any further query you want to access by this mail ID, sudeep.yadav@galgotia